Hare Krishna everyone, and welcome back once again to our series on the glories of our most beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastacha Deshatarine. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we are continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love, and this will be part 147, in which we will continue our discussions on Radha and Krishna's disguises. In this lecture, we will discuss a very unique and interesting disguise that Krishna once assumed to appease Sri Radha's man, or anger, and that is of a female poet. Scholars often refer to a female poet, at least in the Sanskrit language, as a poetess, or actually in the West as well, poetess. It's not so much used anymore, but I think it's nice to use it here, poetess, female poet. In my research, I discovered that Srila Jiva Goswami mentions 14 types of disguises in his Gopal Champu. In that list, the third disguise of Krishna is the disguise of a poetess, a female poet. Actually, in the Puranas, we see two types of poets described in ancient history. In the Mahabharata, Bhishma, while lying on his deathbed of arrows, describes to Maharaj Yudhishthira the origin of these two types of historic poets, or sometimes they're called storytellers. He describes them as follows: Atmanashtam iti yer, shruti resha paranripa, utpano bandino tasha, tata purvo sutta magdho. Quote, "It is famous in the groups of humans," I like how it starts, "it is famous in the groups of humans that before the appearance of Prithu Maharaj, who was born in the 8th generation of Lord Vishnu, two types of poets named Sutta and Magadha appeared. Sutta and Magadha appeared." So from this, we know that very early, even before Krishna appeared, these two poets manifested from the Lord himself. I was reading, there's actually 8 famous poets in ancient India. I'd never come across this before, but it's really interesting. 8 famous poets in ancient Bharat: Lord Shiva, Narada Rishi, Vyasadeva, Valmiki, the demon Ravana, Bhrigu Rishi, Lavankush, and Krishna, the singer of the Gita. That's how it's listed. So once again, today we'll discuss the best of those poets, our beloved Sri Krishna, when he appeared to Sri Radha as a poetess, as a female poet, to subdue her anger, to appease her. Now this pastime is described by Paramananda Das, who we've quoted many times before. He was a poet who lived in Braj at the same time as the 6 Goswamis, actually. And this particular pastime, he calls it the roaming poetess. The roaming poetess. So, one day, Krishna was sitting in a secluded grove in Vrindavan when he saw Lalita Saki walking towards him. Krishna greeted her by saying, "O Saki, you are the greatest gift of my time. You are the greatest gift of my time. I'm so glad you came here." Lalita then asked Krishna, "And why is that, Krishna?" So Krishna replied, "O Lalita, you are the bright sun of the sky-like land of Braj. Without your mercy and light, no one can see the pastimes of Sri Radha. I'm really anxious now about her man." She's in man. "I'm very anxious about her man, her anger. O Saki, today that man is increasing, and tomorrow it will increase, and even more than it is today. And in every moment after that, her man is ever increasing to the heights of the highest mountains. Even the speed with which the stars twinkle in the sky is less than the speed with which her man is rising. To me, her man is jwala, fire. It is bedani, a spear. It is vish, a poison. It is pralya, a destruction. Her man is unbearable, and abhanjanam, ever victorious. He knows better than anyone. Lalita, you are the Swamini of this thunder-like kunja. Please help me to pacify Sri Radha's man as it is now. Lalita replied, O Chitta Chora. Chitta Chora means the stealer of everyone's hearts. She is the queen, and you are the Nata, the hero. You must find some way in which you can please her, and then the two of you can reunite once more. While Lalita was talking to Krishna, the two parrots, Shuka and Sharika, came and started singing songs of love while sitting on a branch of a mango tree. Sharika was upset with Shuka, and Shuka was trying to pacify her by singing poems to her. Hearing those poems being sung, Sharika pressed her beak to Shuka's beak, and they joined their beaks in a kiss of love. Then they flew away together in the open sky of Braja. Now, seeing that, Krishna suddenly got inspired how to please Sri Radhika in her man, in her anger. He then embraced Lalita and went to the Saki named Mridu Vali, M-R-I-D-U, Vali, Mridu Vali, another Saki. Now, Mridu Vali is a famous poetess, female poet, in the court of Maharaj Brishamanu. So inspired, Krishna borrowed Mridu Vali's attire and disguised himself as a poetess called Shama Vali. He gave himself that name, Shama Vali. Then singing poems in a sweet voice, Shama Vali started roaming the streets of Brishamanupur. And here's her voice filled the whole area with this fragrance of poetry. And whoever listened or heard that singing, their hearts melted and their emotions flew upwards. That's how it's described, hearing the singing of Shama Vali. Their hearts melted and their emotions flew upwards. Now, some gopis were stunned by this poetry, and others got tears in their eyes. For some, their hair stood on end, and others were simply mesmerized. The sound of Shamavali's singing poetry reverberated to the walls of Sri Radha's palace. It's described like that. The sound of her singing poetry reverberated through the walls of Radharani's palace, her father's palace. So when two gopis who were dancing in front of Sri Radha heard the words of this poetry, they forgot their dance movements. And when Shamavali's poetry reached the ears of the drummer gopis, it's described like that, the drummer gopis, they forgot their beats. And the whole palace became a repository of poetry. Wow. So whispering, Lalita said to Radhika, "Oh, the sweet nectar of the magical vine of Braj." Lalita is describing Radharani. "Oh, the sweet nectar of the magical vine of Braj. My dear queen, do you hear all that?" And Sri Radha closed her eyes and listened for a moment. And while she was meditating on Shamavali's voice, her heartbeat started beating very fast. Shaking in ecstasy, Sri Radha held Lalita's hand and told her, "My dear friend, please hold me tight. I'm losing control over myself hearing this special voice. This poetess is untangling my love in knots. Please bring that poetess here." And when Krishna, of course, disguised as Shamavali, came in front of Sri Radha and touched her feet, he said, "Long live my queen." Touched her feet. "Long live my queen." And saying that, He then kissed her feet. So Lalita then asked the poetess, "Where are you coming from, dear poetess?" And this magical poetess, a mysterious poetess, replied, "I am coming from the dense forest of the Vidyachala mountains. I'm coming from the dense forest of the Vidyachala mountains." So Lalita said, "From where have you learned this special art of poetry, dear poetess?" And Shyamavali replied, "Well, I performed great austerity, and because of my penances, the goddess Parvati appeared to me and gave me this beautiful voice and the talent of poetry." She gave me this beautiful voice and the talent of poetry. So hearing that, Sri Radhika told Shyamavali, "O Shyamavali, you are the enchanter of everyone's hearts. Your voice has pierced the very core of my heart. Please sing the best of your poems for us. Please sing the very best of your poems for us." So then, sitting in a beautiful pose, while holding a tambura, a stringed instrument, the poetess sang. What did she sing? The melody of the fifth note. She sang the melody of the fifth note. Then she continued. She said, "When your heart aches in the pain of your beloved, O beautiful one, go to the banks of the Kalindi. When you want to spend time with your beloved, O doe-eyed one, listen to the flute of love. When your eyes feel thirsty without seeing your beloved for so long, O Kishori, let your heart fly free and reach his lotus feet." So hearing this poem, Sri Radha started shaking from love in ecstasy. And she whispered to Lalita Saki, "O Lalita, Shyamavali is unlocking the secrets of my love with the keys of her poetry. Like a wild monkey jumps on a tree from one branch to another, and all the flowers start falling on the ground, if Shyamavali continues with her sweet poetry, all the flowers of my tears will start falling from my eyes, and the secrets of my love will be exposed in front to all of Braja." Then when Lalita stood up to interrupt Shyamavali's poetry recitation, Shyamavali started asking Sri Radha questions. Changes a little here. Shyamavali asked her, Sri Radha, "What is that fruit which fills you with the redness of love and the brightness of affection and pain when you are eating it?" Sri Radha replied, "It is indeed the fruit of separation from my beloved. This fruit is filled with the redness of love, the brightness of affectionate memories, but it pains a lot when you partake of it." Shyamavali then asked her, "What is the night filled with intense desires of longings, immense pleasure of devotion, and unlimited bliss of association called?" Sri Radha replied, "It is called the rasa dance on the full moon night." Shyamavali next asked Sri Radha, "What will you do if the one who holds your life in his hands, the beloved of your eyes, and the life of your soul comes in front of you?" Comes in front of you. Sri Radha, with deep emotion, held her breath, closed her eyes, and replied to Shyamavali, "Oh, I will embrace him and make my arms the garland around his neck." And as soon as she finished her sentence, Krishna threw off his disguise, and embracing Sri Radha, he said, "Long live the Queen, long live the Queen." And with wide open eyes, Radha said to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, once again you have defeated my man." Wow. "Oh Krishna, once again you have defeated my man, my anger." The poet, Paramananda Das says, "May Sri Radha's man be ever victorious, for because of it, Lord Giridhari assumes many disguises to appease her and win these battles of love." Hare Krishna. So, for myself, this very poetic pastime embodies a very famous verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anjalila 1:195, famous. Kim kavyena gaveshtasya, kim kandena dhanushmata, parasya hridaye lagnam, nargunar yati yachtura. Very famous. What is the use of a bowman's arrow or a poet's poetry if they penetrate the heart but do not cause the head to spin? Hare Krishna. So finally, I would like to pray to my spiritual master for everything he's given us, all this wisdom, all this knowledge, all this nectar, because he's the revealer of the Dham, with a sweet poem written by a Vaishnav poet named Navai Madhuridas. Navai Madhuridas. He writes, unlimited obeisances unto the great master of devotion. He owns the chariot leading one to the forest of Vrindavan. He breaks the clutches of Maya and saves his disciples from it. Fighting the battles of Maya, material illusion, and Kavya, bodily needs, he crosses over the realm of Kali Yuga. Folding my hands in humility, I pray to my spiritual master to hold my hand just once and help me cross over this vast ocean of material existence. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Guru Parampara ki. Hare Krishna. Wow, I really enjoyed researching and sharing this pastime with all of you today. Shravanam Kirtanam brings Krishna Smaranam, the love of our life. I'm in Mayapur Dham. I've just arrived here actually to begin our 1-month Kartik Parikrama. We have about 400 devotees who are registering today. First stop will be Yogapith tomorrow, and then on and on and on. We'll be here a couple of weeks actually, and then we go to Kolkata to visit all the pastime places of Srila Prabhupada, and then we finish in Jagannath Puri. So please give us your blessings that myself and all these devotees can benefit from this wonderful parikrama. Hare Krishna, see you next week, next Friday. Shishi Gaur Nitai ki, Shishi Krishna Balaram ki, Shishi Radha Shama Sundar ki, Brindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Nitai Gaur Pimanandi Jai Jai Sisi Radhe Sham Kartik Parikrama ki.